through the in-call messages. So gusto ko magsusulat kayo sa in-call because later I will not be able to see the emojis that you are sending. So gusto ko dito tayo sa in-call messages. So if I'll be asking questions and you need to answer, you write in the in-call messages. Can you try now? Pakisulat nga sa in-call messages. So participate using the chat box or the in-call messages. Doon tayo sasagot ha pag tinatanong. Can you try writing in the in-call messages sa chat box? There. Okay. Talagang dot lang talaga nilagay niya. Okay. Sige ha, dyan tayo mag-participate. Ayan, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Okay, so let me share my screen first. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? I will turn off my video. Yan. I will turn off my video. Yan. Can you see the screen and the PowerPoint being presented? Yes? Yes po ba? Okay. Thank you so much, Jeanette. All right. Loud and clear ako ha. You can hear me correctly. Shall we start now? Are we ready to learn? Yes? Yes. Okay. Are we ready to learn? I am not seeing the emojis. Ha? Please participate. Okay. Wow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, now let's begin. Game na ha. Game na. Sagot muna tayo sa chat box. Game na tayo. Yes. Jeanette, Julian. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so ayan, start tayo sa oncologic nursing. You know, oncology is actually the study of cancer. That's oncology. Now, oncologic nursing refers to the care of clients with cancer. Pero bago natin pag-usapan yung care of clients with cancer, let's talk about the the overview of what cancer is, paano siya na-develop, the carcinogenesis or the pathogenesis of cancer, etc. Okay. By the way, you will be having this PowerPoint later. I will be sending this PowerPoint to you. Okay? Let's begin. So, neoplasm is the new name for tumor. Pag sinabi mo kasing cancer, cancer is a type of a tumor. Nung araw, ang tawag dito, tumor. But now, we refer to it as neoplasm. Neo means new, and plasm means growth. So literally, tumor is defined today as a new growth. Bakit pa nila iniba? Iniba nila kasi plus, yung salitang tumor kasi ang sakit sa tenga, di ba? Pag sinabi sa iyo, may tumor ka, ala, ang dating sa iyo noon parang bukas mamamatay ka na, di ba? Kaya they change it, no? They change it so connotation changes as well. So pag sinabing neoplasm or pag sinabi nating tumor, it is actually either benign or malignant. And malignant neoplasm or malignant tumor is actually what we refer to as cancer. So yung cancer, yun yung malignant tumor. So oncologic nursing deals with the study of cancer. But let us differentiate cancer first from a benign lesion. Okay? So ganito ha. We do not know the exact etiology of cancer. So the exact etiology is idiopathic. We do not know the cause. But there are several theories regarding how cancer develop. Pero ako, ang dinidiscuss ko lang, dalawang theories lang. The first is called the cellular differentiation theory and the other one is the failure of the immune response theory. Doon muna tayo sa number one. Okay. When you say cellular differentiation theory, this theory states that changes in our cells are really very normal. Diba? Our cells change, our cells adapt, our cells adjust. Diba? Yan yung nangyayari sa body natin. Pag bata ka, lumalaki ka, and so are your cells. Correct? So there are changes in the cells that are actually normal or they can actually be benign. Now, for example, a pregnant uterus will have increase in the size of cells. What do you call it when there is increase in the size of cells? Hypertrophy. Or increase in the number of cells, you call it hyperplasia. So hypertrophy and hyperplasia of the uterus during pregnancy ay normal. Diba? So these are cellular changes. Now, do we have other benign growth patterns represented by hypertrophy and hyperplasia? Definitely. Another example, gusto mong magpalaki ng muscle. Okay? Nag-bodybuilding ka, nag-exercise ka. So there is an increase in the size of your muscle. Ang tawag doon, hypertrophy. Pero normal lang yun. Or I would say, this is just a benign growth pattern. The same is true with hyperplasia. Girls, ito alam mo to. During your menstrual cycle, yung breast natin nagkakaroon changes. Malaki, lumiliit, lumalaki, lumiliit, nag-engorge, di ba? Tapos liliit siya ulit. So those are normal changes happening in the body. Diba? At sabi nila kapag yung changes na yon nagkaroon ng damage or nagkaroon ng abnormal change o kaya nagkaroon ng damage to the DNA of the cell, that may promote the development of a neoplasm. Okay. So, pwede siyang benign, pwede siyang normal, pwede rin naman siyang abnormal. So, look at this. Another cellular change is called metaplasia. So, when you say metaplasia, it's a change of one cell type to another cell type. Ma'am, is this normal? Yes. Halimbawa, yung fontanelle ng baby, cartilage yan, di ba? And the cells of the cartilages, we call them chondrocytes. So as the baby grows older, the fontanelle is changed to becoming a bone. And the cells of the bone, we call them osteocytes. So there is a change from one cell type to another cell type. So from chondrocytes to becoming osteocyte. Ma'am, is this metaplastic changes normal? Yes. Okay. Class, are you following? Am I fast or nakakasunod ka? Okay naman? Nika, Joanna, can you follow? Yes. Nakakasunod. Thank you. And I would like you to have your notebook, ha? Magsulat tayo sa notebook. This is the start of oncologic class or oncologic lecture. Sana may notebook ka. Okay. Magsusulat ako sa Word. You can also have this word. Itong word na to, pwede nyo rin siyang makuha later. Yan, sulat tayo dito sa Word. Sabi natin, metaplasia can be abnormal as well. Metaplasia can be abnormal as well. Hintayin natin, medyo matagal. Ayan. Okay. Metaplasia can be abnormal. I will give you an example of an abnormal metaplastic changes. So, for example, okay, this is the, nasa na yung, yun. Okay, this is the esophagus. esophagus. Ayan. Teka lang ha. Ayan. 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 Sana nakikita natin lahat. Ayan. So, mahirap mag-drawing eh. Gaganitahin ko na lang ha. Esophagus. Then this is the stomach. Okay? Now, the lining of the stomach is columnar. This is the normal lining of the stomach. Columnar cells. Columnar cells. Now, the lining of the esophagus is squamous. Squamous cells. Okay. In patients with, I'm sure everybody knows this, no? In a client with GERD, ano nga yung GERD natin? Gastro gastroesophageal reflux disorder. So yung mga patient na merong GERD, what is happening? 'Di ba? The acid from the stomach is actually going to the esophagus. The acidity of the stomach will go to the esophagus. Iba nagre-reflux siya ganyan. Nagre-reflux siya. So this acid in the stomach may cause injury to the lining of the esophagus. So pagka mayroong injury, mayroong inflammation. Anong tawag doon kapag may inflammation ng esophagus? Esophagitis. Okay, so then what will happen? This esophagitis may cause, chronic esophagitis may cause changes in the cell lining. Okay, so ano mangyayari? The squamous cells now will become columnar. Okay, do we have a change from one cell type to another cell type? Yes. So, di ba yung squamous naging columnar. But this is not a normal metaplastic change. This is an abnormal metaplastic change. Ito yung sinasabi ko, yung mga changes sa cells natin, pwedeng magiging abnormal. And you know what? If the lining of the esophagus has become columnar already, this esophagus is already being referred to as your Barrett's esophagus. And guess what? Barrett's esophagus is a risk factor for possible development of esophageal cancer. For possible development of esophageal cancer. So, yung mga changes na normally nangyayari, pwede rin magkaroon ng abnormal changes. Yun yung tinasabi ng theory na to. The change may cause damage. Damage can cause abnormal repair or inability of the cells to repair itself. So, nagiging cancer siya. Nagiging new growth siya. Nakakasunod. Dayan, again, Nika, are you following? Nakakasunod pa tayo? Yes. I am not seeing your emojis. Following? Ayan. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay. So the cellular differentiation theory, I hope you understand that these cellular changes that are happening in the body may cause damage to the DNA, mutation, and a formation of a new growth. Now, pag nagkaroon na ng abnormal changes, teka, hindi na normal yun. Abnormal changes in the cell, we call them dysplasia. Dysplasia is never normal. This is what we refer to as precursor of cancer. Ulitin natin na hypertrophy, may hyperplasia, metaplasia can be all normal. But dysplasia is already an abnormal changes in the cell. Precursor na to of cancer or tumor. Pero itong dysplastic changes na to dun sa cell, nagkaroon ng loss of cellular organization. Hindi na dysplasia ang tawag dyan. Anaplasia na. This is one characteristic of cancer cells. They don't have cellular organization anymore. So this is called cellular differentiation theory. Do you understand? Naintindihan niyo? Yes. Yes. Do we understand? Yes. All right. Okay, thank you, Jeanette. All right. Now, ang sabi ko, when the body has already developed a tumor or an abnormal growth, sabi natin, they can be benign or malignant. Okay. Now, this slide tells us the differences between a benign and a malignant tumor or neoplasm. Okay. So, number one is the differentiation. Pag sinabi natin differentiation, how different or similar is the neoplasm from the cells of origin? Example, the cell of origin are fat cells. Fat cells. So, in a benign tumor of the fat, ang tawag natin doon, lipoma. Okay. Pag tinignan natin sa microscope yung mga cells ng tumor na yun, it is really very similar to fat cells. So sasabihin natin, this is well differentiated. And all these benign tumor are well differentiated. We can identify where they are really coming from. Okay? The structure may be typical of the tissue of origin. That's benign. Now, when these fat cells has turned to becoming malignant, okay, ang tawag naman natin doon is liposarcoma. Okay? The cells can be well differentiated or moderately differentiated or poorly differentiated or undifferentiated. Hindi mo siya makilala. Nawala na yung organization. Saan galing to? Anong itsura nito? Anong klaseng cell to pinanggalingan? So, ang malignant, pwedeng well-differentiated, pwedeng undifferentiated. That is very important characteristic of a malignant tumor, ha? Kapag ang malignant tumor ay well-differentiated, generally, less aggressive sila. Pero pag ang malignant tumor ay undifferentiated, then generally, they are more aggressive. Mabilis dumami, mabilis kumalat, mabilis mamatay yung hosts. Okay? Now, the rate of growth. Okay. Pag benign, usually progressive and slow. Progressive and slow. Mabagal. Common yan. Pero pag malignant, pwedeng mabagal, pwedeng mabilis. Pwedeng mabagal, pwedeng mabilis kapag malignant. So usually kapag slow growing ang malignant tumor, less aggressive. Pag rapidly growing ang malignant tumor, it is more aggressive. Okay? Then another differentiation is the local invasion. Plus, kapag benign ang tumor, usually cohesive and expansile. Usually, it is actually surrounded by a capsule. So kapag surrounded by the capsule, hindi siya makaka-extend far beyond it. That's benign. Pag sinabi natin malignant, it's infiltrating. It can go anywhere from the sides, dun sa surrounding cells, up to distant places. So, hindi lang local, hanggang dulo, hanggang malayo. And that is the hallmark or the characteristic of a malignant tumor. Ito, what is the hallmark of the malignant tumor? This one, metastasis. All cancer cells metastasize. They spread to distant areas. So, hindi lang siya locally invading, they are also spreading distant. Okay. So, ito absent, ito present. So, the hallmark of a malignant tumor is metastasis. Ulit, ano nga ang hallmark ng malignant tumor? Type ka. What is the hallmark of malignant tumor? The hallmark is, the hallmark of a malignant tumor is, type tayo, the hallmark is the spread. Anong tawag dun sa spread? Metastasis. Okay, very good. So yun yung tinatawag kong cellular differentiation theory. Another theory of cancer is called the failure of the immune response theory. The failure of the immune response theory states that meron daw tayong mga cancer cells sa katawan natin and the immune system identify them as foreign. So the immune system get rid of all these cancer cells in us. Ang theory na to states that if your immune system goes down, then there is a tendency for the cancer cells to proliferate and grow. This is the reason why we are seeing cancer in patients with HIV. And the most common type of cancer in patients with HIV ay Kaposi's sarcoma. This is cancer of the endothelial lining of the blood vessel causing usually skin rashes. Hindi lang yan. Patients with HIV are susceptible to develop a lot of different types of cancer. Okay? So, kailangan pala strong ang system natin so that we can actually fight off this cancer. Alright. So, how do we name tumor or neoplasm? We use the suffix "oma" to the origin of original cells. So we classify them like this, or we name them like this. This is the tumor type. This is the cell tissue of origin, a benign tumor or a malignant tumor. So kung galing sa mesenchymal cells, so particularly fibroblasts, yung benign tumor ang tawag fibroma. Yung malignant tumor ang tawag fibrosarcoma. So sarcoma refers to a malignant tumor from the mesenchymal cells. So kapag galing naman sa fat cells, pag benign ang tawag lipoma, pag malignant ang tawag liposarcoma. Again, sarcoma refers to malignant neoplasm from mesenchymal cells. Sa bone cells, pagka benign ang tawag osteoma, pag malignant ang tawag osteosarcoma. Okay. Pagkagaling naman sa epithelial tumor like squamous epithelium, then pag benign ang tawag epithelioma, pag malignant ang tawag squamous cell carcinoma. Pag glandular or ductal epithelium, pag benign ang tawag adenoma, kapag malignant ang tawag adenocarcinoma. Pag internal organs, pagka cells of origin, liver cell adenoma, pag malignant, liver cell carcinoma. Pagka germ cell tumor, embryonic cells, pag benign, teratoma, pag malignant, embryonal carcinoma. So yung salitang carcinoma is referring to a malignant tumor from epithelium, from glandular, and from germ cell. Pero pag galing sa mesenchymal cells, you call it sarcoma. Lahat sila merong oma dun sa dulo. That's how we classify and name human tumors. Okay? Carcinogenesis. So how do cancer or malignant neoplasm develop? Ito, tatandaan mo tong word na to ha. IPP. IPP. Initiation, promotion, progression. IPP. Initiation, promotion, progression. Tandaan mo yan. Malabas yan sa board exam. Initiation is exposure to initiating agents or carcinogens. So for example, you started smoking. Smoking is a carcinogen. You expose yourself to sunlight. Even sunlight is carcinogen. Diba? You are taking in alcohol. Alcohol is a carcinogen. That's initiation. Now, promotion is when carcinogens cause unregulated, accelerated growth in previously initiated cell. So, for example, the patient started smoking, and smoking will cause injury to the lining of the bronchioles. Those cellular changes that has happened, ang tawag doon, promotion. But those cellular changes happening are reversible. Reversible pa. If you stop smoking, then it can go back to normal. For a while lang po. For a while. For waiting. Okay. So initiation is exposure to carcinogen. Promotion, you have cellular changes happen to the cells that are previously initiated. And progression, when these changes in the cell develop malignant characteristic, ang tawag na doon progression. And progression is already irreversible. So IPP, tandaan mo, IPP. Initiation, promotion, and progression. Okay? So paano ba na-develop ito? Ganito ha. This is the pathogenesis of cancer. Lahat ng klase ng cancer, pare-pareho sila ng pathogenesis. When you say pathogenesis, this is how they develop. What is the exact etiology? The exact etiology, we do not know. Idiopathic. Idiopathic. Do we have risk factors? Yes. Okay, so these are the acquired environmental risk factors that can be damaging to the DNA of the cells. Like what? Like chemicals. Certain chemicals can be carcinogenic, di ba? Those that are yung mga poisons, yung mga organophosphates, yung mga insecticides, radiation, even the sunlight is carcinogenic. When Japan was bombed by US during the World War II, those who survived the bombing developed leukemia because they were all exposed to radiation. Viruses, particularly human papilloma virus, can cause cervical cancer. HIV can cause Kaposi sarcoma. Hepatitis B can cause liver cancer. So viruses, even some of the bacteria can also cause, diba? And there were many other carcinogens in the environment. So these acquired causes or risk factors can damage the normal cell. At ano ang na-damage sa normal cell? Yung DNA. Now, under normal circumstances, dapat pag na-damage ang DNA niyan, kaya niyang i-repair yan. At pag nag-repair na ng DNA successfully, it goes back to normal. Babalik na siya sa normal kasi successful yung kanyang DNA repair. Okay? Pero if the DNA failed to be repaired, teka, bakit nag-fail sa repair yung cells na yun? Ba't di nila na-repair yung DNA nila? Bakit? Dito napapasok ang heredity. The inherited mutations in genes affecting DNA repair and genes affecting cell growth and apoptosis. Cancer is highly familial. Ano ba ang minana? Ang minana mo yung mga genes na nakakaapekto sa DNA repair. Minana mo yung genes na nakakaapekto sa cell growth and apoptosis. What is apoptosis? Apoptosis is a programmed cell death. Kung nasira na sana ang DNA na yan, namatay na lang sana yung cells na yan, papalitan na lang natin yan. That's a normal and natural death called apoptosis. Kaso, hindi siya namatay. Kasi nga meron kang ganyang gene. So what happened? Instead na nag-repair o namatay, nag-mutate ang cells. So there is mutation in the genome of the somatic cells. Ito pa, sa body natin, kapag merong mga cells na nabubuo, na abnormal cells, meron tayong mga genes that can suppress the growth of this tumor. Kaso, minana mo rin to, yung inactivation of tumor suppressor genes. So, hindi na-suppress yung pagdami ng mga abnormal cells. So, ano nangyari? Dumami sila. nagkaroon ng clonal expansion. Hindi sila namatay, lumaki, dumami. Di lang yan, nagkaroon ka rin ng activation of growth-promoting oncogenes. Oncogene is also hereditary, the genes that will promote more unregulated cell proliferation. Na instead na sana namatay, lalo silang dumami. At nung dumami sila, nag-produce na sila ng sarili nilang blood vessels. Those blood vessels produced are connected to the blood vessels of the host. They escape from immunity, hindi sila na-identify ng immune system. So dumami lalo sila ng dumami. So what happened? Nagkaroon ng tumor progression, additional mutation, nagkaroon sila ng characteristic of a malignant cells, nagkaroon ka na ng malignant neoplasm. Saan? Kung saan siya tumubo. Pwede bang sa breast? Yes, so you call it primary breast cancer. Pwede bang sa brain? Yes, so you call it primary brain cancer. Pwede ba sa lungs? Yes, so you call it primary lung cancer. Pwede ba sa colon? Yes, you call it primary colon cancer. Okay, pwede ba sa stomach? Yes, so you call it primary gastric cancer. Okay, so yung primary cancer, ibig sabihin, doon siya lumaki, tumubo sa cells or sa organ where it started. Okay? And what is the hallmark of cancer? Metastasis. So when this cancer invade other tissues, halimbawa nag-invade, nag-metastasize, pumunta sa bone. So the bone becomes a secondary cancer. The most common secondary cancer is bone cancer. From the breast to the bone, from the lungs to the bone. From the lungs to the brain becomes a secondary cancer. From prostate to the bone becomes a secondary cancer. So yung primary cancer, doon siya galing. Yung secondary cancer, doon siya pumunta. So far, clear? Clear po ba? Please chat. Yes. Thank you, Dayan. Clear po ba sa iba? Clear sa iba? Yes. Very good. Okay. Ito ituturo ko sa inyo ha. Kailangan hindi lang pathogenesis ang alam natin. Dapat alam natin yung pathophysiology. Okay. So pag sinabi nating pathophysiology, you don't just explain how the disease develop kasi pathogenesis yun. Pagdating sa dulo, this is the dulo, may primary cancer. Halimbawa, sinabihan ka ni Ma'am Jackie, gagawa ka ng pathophysiology ng breast cancer. So lahat ng sinabi natin gagawin mo. Pagdating sa dulo, there is primary cancer of the breast. Ibig sabihin, sa breast, nagkaroon ng tumor. Dahil dyan, anong naramdaman ng patient? You feel a lump in the breast. So yung lump in the breast, ito yung signs and symptoms. And this lump initially is painless. Tapos, dagdagan natin ha. Tapos, ano nangyari? Yung lump na yun, okay, lumaki ang lump. Increase in the size. Okay, increase in the size. Lagay natin dito. There is increase in the size of the lump or the neoplasm, in the size of the tumor. So pag nag-increase ang size ng tumor, so this will cause unequal breast size. Unequal breast size. O diba? Ito ba ay manifestation din to ng breast cancer? So pagka nagbe-breast exam, nakikita mo unequal yung breast size. So this is one clinical manifestation, lump in the breast. Okay, then this is another clinical manifestation. Nakakasunod? Hindi ko to tatapusin pero sana nagkakaroon ka ng idea, no? Another one. Sige nga, ilagyan natin. Pag nag-i-increase yung size ng tumor, okay, so this increasing in the size of the tumor may cause the tumor, okay, the tumor may invade the area under the nipple. Under the nipple. Okay? Tapos ano ang effect nito? This may cause retraction of the nipple. Retraction of the previously retracted nipple is a sign of breast cancer. May mga pinapanganak, retracted na talaga yung nipple nila, pero meron na hindi. So pagka dati hindi naman retracted, tapos ngayon retracted na, that can be a sign of a tumor. Yan. Retraction of the nipple. Yan. Ganito yung paggawa. So ito, anong makita mo dito? Ito yung signs and symptoms. Ang tawag na dito kapag meron kang clinical manifestations, yan na yung pathophysiology. Ito, this is your pathogenesis. So ito, kung saan siya tumubo, and you see the clinical manifestations from where it came from, yun ang pathophysiology. Do you understand? Do we understand? Naintindihan ba? Clear po? Yes. Now, I can see your emojis now. Sige, can you understand? Do you understand, right? Yan. Okay, very good. So, kung gagawa ka ng pathophysiology, this is pathogenesis. Kung gagawa ka ng pathophysiology, you will put it where it come from. No? So, isa na lang halimbawa, yung primary cancer, okay, of the lungs. So doon tumubo sa bronchioles, no? Doon tumubo sa lining ng bronchioles. So ano nangyari? This tumor irritates the lining of the bronchioles. Dahil nagkakaroon ng irritation, pwedeng magkaroon ng inflammation. Pag may inflammation, pwedeng magkaroon ng swelling. That may cause increased mucus production. So anong manifestation ng patient? The patient will have cough. So cough now becomes the clinical manifestation of lung cancer, and this is an early sign. Pwede mo pa tong dugtungan kung lumalaki na yung tumor sa lungs, ano nangyayari, nagkakos na ng obstruction, nahirapan na siyang huminga, etc. So ulit ito, pathogenesis or specifically carcinogenesis. This is how the cancer developed. But when this cancer develop in a particular area of the body and you see the signs and symptoms, yun ang tinatawag na pathophysiology. Do you understand? Okay, nakikita ko ng emoji. Naintindihan tayo ulit? Alright, very good. Tuloy na natin Okay. Now I said the cancer cells are different from the benign tumor. Okay, ano ba yung mga characteristic? Number one characteristic of a cancer cell is the altered cell differentiation. Altered cell differentiation. So, Naalala mo kanina, sabi natin, ano nga yung dysplasia? Abnormal cellular changes. Ano nga yung anaplasia? There is loss of organization of the cells. Okay, so altered cell differentiation. Anong makikita mo? Anong itsura ng cell? Hindi na siya normal, abnormal na siya. Eh, anong makikita mo abnormality? Example, the appearance of the cells will change. The cancer cells vary in size and shape. So, pleomorphism is the differences in the size and shape of the cancer cells. Ulit ha, they vary in size and shape. Anong tawag doon? Pleomorphism. They will have abnormal nuclei or multiple nuclei. Ang mga cells natin, isang nucleus lang yan usually, pero sila dumadami. No? There is also abnormal number of chromosomes. Ang tawag doon, aneuploidy. Ano bang normal number ng chromosomes natin? 23 pairs, di ba? Pero ang mga cancers, walang ganun. Yung iba 20, 19, 17, 16, wala. There is abnormal chromosome arrangement. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina. The more undifferentiated, the more aggressive. The more you cannot identify them from their cells of origin, the more they are aggressive. Mas mabilis tumami, mas mabilis kumalat, mas madaling makamatay ng tao. Okay? The appearance of the cells change. Then we have altered metabolism. So when you say altered metabolism, the production of surface enzymes that aid in invasion and metastasis. So, ganito. And let me show you my face. Ang hirap mag-drawing dito. And we will try to. Okay. So, ganito na lang. Halimbawa, ito yung mga cells. Ito yung mga cells. Ito yung cells. Ito yung mga cells. Yung mga cells dito, they cannot go further here. Hindi nila makakapunta dito. They will be inhibited to develop from this area. Hanggang dito lang siya. Meron siyang contact inhibition. It will not go beyond. Okay, yung mga cancer cells, they are producing chemicals or enzymes. Kumbaga, and that enzyme will help them to invade the surrounding. I will put it in a paint para madali. Kaya mas gusto ko nasa whiteboard eh. Madaling mag-drawing. Okay, yan. Kita natin yung paint, ha? Okay. So, for example, ano ba? Paano ba ito drawing? Halimbawa, ito yung cells, ito yung areas. Yan yung areas na to. Tapos, dito sa area na to, iba na tong mga cells sa area na to. You cannot see. Ayan, iba na tong mga cells sa area na to. Yan, iba na to ha. Itong kulay blue, iba na dito. So, dito, meron silang contact inhibition. So, yung mga cells dito, they cannot go further. Nandito ka lang, iba na yan. Huwag ka nang pupunta dyan, iba na yan. Hanggang dito lang tayo. Pero pagka cancer cells, halimbawa cancer cells tong kulay blue, nagpuproduce sila ng enzymes. Nagpuproduce sila ng enzymes that will cause invasion of the other cells. Dumadami sila, locally invading. Anong pinroduce nila? Surface enzymes. So, that is the reason kung bakit sila nag-i-spread locally, kumakalat, dumadami. Okay? Number 2, higher rate of anaerobic glycolysis. When you say anaerobic glycolysis, they will be able to produce energy even without oxygen. So, kayang-kaya nilang mag-produce ng energy kahit kayang-kaya nilang gumamit ng glucose even without oxygen. Okay? They have production of abnormal growth factor. Itong mga cancer cells na to, kasi nga nag-mutate na sila, di ba? Hindi na sila yung normal cells. So, pag naging clone na sila, dumami na sila, nagpo-produce sila ng chemicals that will help them to grow. Ang tawag doon, abnormal growth factor. Okay? And Ito, lagi ko itong sinasabi, ang hirap sa mga cancer cells na to, nakikitubo na lang sila sa katawan natin, nakikirelease pa sila ng mga hormones natin. So there is inappropriate secretion of hormone or hormone-like substance resulting in paraneoplastic syndrome. Example, ang antidiuretic hormone, ang nagpo-produce dyan, pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Yan ang nagpo-produce dyan normally. Okay, anong nangyari? Aba, yung tumor ang nagre-release ng antidiuretic hormone. Nakikitubo ka na lang, nakikirelease ka pa niyan. So ano bang effect ng antidiuretic hormone? This will cause water retention. Water retention may cause, hypervolemia. This may cause hypertension. So aside from signs and symptoms of tumor, meron ka pang signs and symptoms of increased antidiuretic hormone or an endocrine dysfunction. So itong mga signs and symptoms na to, ang tawag doon, paraneoplastic syndrome. So tandaan mo to, pag sinabi mo yung salitang syndrome, syndrome is a collection of signs and symptoms. Meron ka ng signs and symptoms of cancer, meron ka pang signs and symptoms of inappropriate hormone secretion. Hindi naman dapat nagpo-produce ng hormone yan. Ba't siya nagpo-produce ng hormone? The cancer cells will produce those hormones or hormone-like substances. That's called paraneoplastic syndrome. So may mga cancer na nagpo-produce ng mga hormone or hormone-like substances. Do you understand? I can see the emojis now. Okay, thank you. Okay, another characteristic of cancer cells, they release proteins. Ito, siguro isang magandang characteristic ito ng cancer cells. They release tumor-specific antigens. Okay? Pag sinabi mong antigen, ano ba yan? It's a protein that stimulates antibody formation. Proteins marking the cancer cells as non-self. Hindi atin yan. Hindi. So we may develop antibodies against that. And these tumor-specific antigens are actually identified in the blood. So pag nakita natin itong mga specific antigens sa blood, we know that there is a tumor producing them. So naging ano pa sila, naging help pa sila for us to be able to diagnose the cancer, di ba? Natulungan pa natin yan. Nakatulong pa yan sa atin. At hindi lang yan. later on in the disease process, or sorry, in the management of the disease, makikita pa natin that those antibodies can be formed against this cancer. Natulong pa yan. So this is one characteristic. Another one is the altered cellular function. The normal control mechanism failed to stop. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, yung mga cells dito sa kapila, hindi na sila mag-i-invade sa other cells. Kumbaga, mai-stop na. Okay? Meron silang contact inhibition. Pero lahat yun mawawala. So these cancer cells will spread to the surrounding kasi wala silang regulation. At hindi lang sila sa surrounding areas, dadami. Lalagpas pa sila. Kaya sabi natin kanina, what is the hallmark of cancer? The hallmark of cancer is metastasis. Now, cancer cells are less genetically stable. Ibig sabihin, habang dumadami sila, mutate sila ng mutate. And they will just stop doing that when the host die. Pag namatay na yung tao, they also die. Pero habang buhay ang tao na yan, they will continue to grow. Clear po? Clear. Clear tayo? Yes. Okay, very good. Sa Wednesday next week na face-to-face tayo ha. Okay, this is also very important. Paano ba nag-grow ang cells? Yung cell natin na normal, meron tayong cell cycle. Abay sila rin, meron din silang cell cycle. Okay. The cell cycle is actually made up of different phases. No, we have G1, S, G2, M. G1 is the growth phase. Dito nire-ready ng cells ang kakailanganin ng cells para sa cell division. Sa S phase is the DNA synthesis. Dito nagpo-produce ng DNA. Okay, sa G2 naman is, it's just like a quality control. Titingnan niya kung enough na yung DNA that is formed before it will undergo cell division. Mitosis is cell division. If you remember, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So that's your division. So pag nag-mitosis, magiging dalawa cells, yung dalawa magiging apat, yung apat magiging walo, yung walo magiging 16, hanggang padami ng padami. Ganon din yung normal cells natin. Ganon din sila. Yung G0 is called the resting phase. Okay? Hindi naman talaga ito nagpapahinga eh. Nagpapahinga lang ang cells natin from cell division. But resting phase, the cells perform all functions other than proliferation. Non-dividing cells are not considered to be in the cell cycle. So, pag hindi nagdi-divide ang cells, nakarest yun. Pero lahat ng function ng cell, ginagawa niya during this phase. Okay, pero hindi lang cell division. So, nagpapahinga lang siya from dividing. Yung mga tumor, ganyan din. Okay? Tandaan mo, paano natin malalaman kung gaano kabilis mag-divide yung mga tumor cells? This is the type of the G0. Pag ang G0 nila ay maiksi, mabilis silang dumami. Pag ang G0 nila ay mahaba, matagal, mabagal silang dumami. So kung meron tayong cell cycle, meron din itong mga tumor na to. And they, of course, will have different growth. No? Iba-iba yung growth nila. Okay? So when you say cell cycle time, the amount of time required for a cell to move from one mitosis to another. This is the sum of your M, G1, S, and G2. Ito yung sinabi ko, the length of the G0 is the major factor in determining the cell cycle time. Kapag ang G0 ay maigsi, mabilis ang pagdami. Pag ang G0 ay mahaba, mabagal ang pag-grow ng tumor. Okay? Clear? Naintindihan niyo? Yes. Okay. So ito yung mga karakteristika. Another one is the tumor growth. We have what we call the doubling time. The length of the time it takes for a tumor to double its volume. The average doubling time of the tumor is 2 months. Pero syempre, it varies in the different types of tumor. A tumor is clinically undetectable. Hindi mo siya makikita until it has doubled 30 times and contain 1 billion cells. Okay, at approximately 1 centimeter in size or 1 gram in weight. Lit-lit lang ng 1 cm. So pag nakita natin itong 1 cm na bukol na to, how many billion of 1 billion of cells? Na bago natin ma-identify yung cancer, billion of cancer cells are already in the body. 1 cm lang yun. Paano kung 4 cm? Ilang billion na yun? Kumalat na yun, ma'am. Malamang. Diba? So growth fraction is the ratio of the total number of cells to the number of the dividing cells. Tumor with large growth factor increase their tumor volume more quickly. As tumor volume increases, the growth factor decreases as a result of hypoxia, decreased nutrient availability, and toxins. Okay, so again, we do not know the cause. Do we have risk factors? Yes, ito sila, heredity, hormonal factors, bacteria and parasites, oncologic viruses, immune system deficiency, environmental factors such as chemicals, radiation, yan. And the routes of spread, we have lymphatics, blood vessels, and direct seeding. Pag sinabi nating routes, saan ba sila kakalat, di ba? The hallmark of cancer is metastasis. So how do they spread? Number one is through the lymphatics. The breast is richly supplied with lymphatics. So most commonly, breast cancer metastasize to the bones through the lymphatics. Lung cancer metastasize to the brain through the blood hematogenous. Liver cancer spread to the intestine by direct seeding. When you say direct seeding, they go to the surrounding area. Kung sino yung katabi niyang organ, doon siya pupunta. That's direct seeding. So these are the different mechanisms on how they metastasize. Again, the hallmark of cancer is metastasis. Ayan. Ito naman ay 2020 at saka 2023. Mukhang updated pa naman, ano? This is according to the World Health Organization, accounts for nearly 10 million deaths, nearly 1 in 6 deaths in 2020. So dito, ito yung incidence in 2023, 141,021 total cancer cases, with 86,337 total cancer-related deaths. So yung cancer illnesses, ang tawag doon, morbidity. Yung cancer death, ang tawag, mortality. Okay, and the most common are breast, cervix, uteri, colorectal, leukemia, liver, lung, ovary, prostate, thyroid cancer. Highest incidence of breast cancer, sa incidence morbidity, lung cancer has the highest mortality rate in February of 2023 sa Pilipinas. Sa Amerika, this is the 2023 in the United States. Estimated new cases, morbidity, ang pinakamadami, breast. Ang sumunod, lungs. Tapos, ang sumunod ay prostate. Tapos lungs. Tapos colon. Sa death naman, ang pinakamadami lungs. Okay, ang sumunod ay colon, tapos breast, tapos prostate. So, i-summarize natin. Not only in the United States, but also here in our country. Ha? Sa morbidity, ayun. Morbidity incidence, morbidity, ano ang una? Breast, sa babae, lagay natin, babae, female. Number 1 is breast. Number 2 ay lungs. Number 3 ay colon. Mortality sa babae, lung, mortality, lung, breast, tapos colon. Sa babae, sa lalaki, male, morbidity, prostate. Number 1 ay prostate. Number 2 ay lungs. Number 3 ay colon. Mortality sa lalaki. Sa lalaki, lung, number 2, prostate, and number 3, colon. So, ay, yeah. So, sa mortality, ang pinaka-deadly ay lungs. Pero sa morbidity, sa babae, breast, sa lalaki ay prostate. Morbidity is cause of illness. Mortality is cause of death. Okay? Okay po? Alright. Okay. Now, the levels of care. Okay, so meron tayong primary level of care, secondary level of care, tertiary level of care. Sa primary level of care, this is more of of prevention of cancer and promotion of good health. Primary level yan. Okay? Pag sinabi natin secondary level, screening, diagnosis, and treatment. Pag sinabi natin tertiary level, this is more of palliative care. Pag sinabi mong palliative care, you only lessen the signs and symptoms of the disease. O ngayon, class, sumagot ha. Maganda na ang response natin sa cancer treatment ngayon kasi maganda ang primary level of care, secondary level of care, or tertiary level of care. Ulitin ko, there has been an improvement in the management of cancer today because of what? Improvement in the primary level of care, secondary level of care, or tertiary level of care. Sagot. I am waiting. Answer. Primary. Anyone else? There has been an improvement in the management of cancer because of an improvement in what level of care? All right. Primary is prevention of risk factors and promotion of good health. Kahit magsisigaw ka sa daan at sabihin mo mag-stop na sila sa smoking nila, nobody will listen to you. Pero when you screen them for an early sign of cancer, tumigil ka na, merong bukol dun sa chest x-ray mo, titigil yan. Kasi nakita natin ng mas maaga. And the earlier we identify the patient, the better is the management. So ang sagot is secondary level of care. Screening, early detection, they are most important element to manage cancer well today. Clear? Yes. Secondary, dahil sa secondary level of care. Okay? Okay. Prevention, identify risk factors, avoid them. Stop smoking, avoid alcohol, live a healthy lifestyle. That's prevention. Pero ang pinaka-importante ay secondary level, screening, detection, diagnosis, and management. Screening. Okay. And detection. Okay. Ito, tatandaan mo to. Tatandaan mo to hanggang mamatay ka na, kailangan alam mo to. Pagka tinanong ka, what are the early signs of cancer? That's early detection. Okay? Tatandaan mo tong mnemonics na to. Caution us. Halos lahat ng early sign of cancer nandyan. Siyempre, i-apply mo lang. So for example, tinanong kita, what is an early sign of pancreatic cancer? Ang sagot, indigestion. What is an early sign of a skeletal muscle cancer? Ang sagot, thickening or lump, bukol. What is an early sign of uterine or cervical cancer? Unusual bleeding or discharge. So lahat ng early sign nandito, CAUTIONUS, caution us. C stands for changes in bladder or changes in bowel habits. Changes in bowel habits. Alternating diarrhea and constipation is an early sign of colorectal cancer. Changes in bladder such as uh, painless hematuria, change in bladder yan. Difficulty initiating urination, bladder problem yan. Pero alam nyo, pagka nahirapan na siyang umihi sa bladder cancer, usually late na yan eh. The early sign of a urinary bladder cancer is a painless hematuria. Umiihi siya ng dugo pero hindi masakit. That's a bladder cancer. A sore that does not heal, an early sign of skin cancer. Unusual bleeding or discharge, an early sign of cervical cancer, uterine cancer, or even breast cancer. I've known patients who had nipple discharge or bleeding in the nipple. Wala silang nakapangbukol pero nagkaroon agad ng bleeding sa nipple. Okay? Thickening or lump in the skin. Thickening or lump is bukol in the breast or elsewhere, in the muscles, wherever. So pag may nakakapakang bukol dyan, patanggal mo yan. It could be an early sign of cancer. Obvious changes in warts and moles. Yung mga nunal na lumalaki, yung mga nunal na tawag natin, buhay, namumula, nagkakaroon ng hair, have them removed because these are early signs of cancer. Nagging cough is an early sign of lung cancer. Hoarseness is an early sign of laryngeal cancer. Unexplained anemia. May mga tao, basta lang nag-anemia, you do not know why. And severe weight loss. And severe weight loss. So this is called caution us. Pag tinanong ka ng early sign of cancer, for detection of cancer, ito ang iisipin natin. Okay? Do you understand? Clear? Clear po ba tayo? Yes, okay. 38 lang kayo ha, tapos dalawang section to. I do not have your attendance. I don't have your canvas. So please, President, check our attendance ha. Baka yung iba hindi na umattend. So that's okay. Kaya lang yung learning, yung application. By the way, I would like everyone to know that I'm going to give you a long quiz before the final exam, and that will cover oncologic nursing. Okay, at ang long quiz ko, identification. Magme-memorize ka. Okay? So you should be studying well, ha? Okay. Okay, screening. Screening tayo, ha? Screening. Okay. These are the most common cancer today. Lung, breast, colorectal, prostate, cervical. So these are the screening that we do for these different types of cancer. Okay? So for example, lung cancer. Starting at 40 years old, both men and women should have an annual chest x-ray. That can actually identify an early sign of lung cancer. Okay. Then we have breast cancer. Breast cancer. The screening test for breast cancer is breast self-examination. Okay. In women less than 40 years old after menses. And the clinical breast exam, the doctor will have to do the breast examination every 3 years. Kapag menopause na, same date monthly. Clinical breast exam yearly, 40 years old and above. Okay? Sa prostate cancer, teka muna. Ma'am, how about mammography and ano to? Mammography tsaka breast ultrasound. Okay, mammography and breast ultrasound are indicated kung meron kang nakapang breast lump. Pero may mga babae who are undergoing breast ultrasound and mammography as part of screening. And that is very good. Hindi naman siya recommended, pero kung gusto mo at meron kang means, that would be better. Pero pag may nakapang breast mass, kailangan magawa yun. Sa prostate cancer, we have digital rectal exam at 40 years old and above annually. Digital rectal exam is putting the index finger into the anus. Okay? Yung mga doktor, patutuwa din lang yung nakatayo yung pasyente, tutuwad lang sila leaning on the table. Pero pag nurse ang magpo-position, naka-seams position dapat lateral ha. Pero pag sa mga doktor, papatuwa rin lang nila yon. Tapos ipapasok nila ang index finger sa anus because the prostate is located sa baba ng urinary bladder. So, pag malaki yon, makakapa mo yun sa baba ng urinary bladder and it feels like this kapag benign. Pero pag cancer yan, matigas. It feels like knuckles. So yung mga urologists specializing on this parts, isang kapalang nila alam na nila kung ito ay cancer o ito ay benign. And then prostate-specific antigen. This is a protein released by the prostate cancer. The normal PSA is 0 to 4 nanograms per ml. This is normal. Pero pag ang patient natin ay may prostate cancer, it can go up to even hundreds. Eh ma'am, paano kung benign lang na enlargement of the prostate? Pwede rin, and it will also increase your PSA kahit benign lang. Then for colorectal cancer is common among elderly, 60 years old and above. So we recommend that if there is a strong family history of colorectal cancer, a patient should undergo colonoscopy at 60 years old and above every 5 years. Okay? And cervical cancer, the pap smear is being done to 18 years old every 3 years. So itong pap smear na to, importante ito. Yan, ang pap smear, ito yung classification. We have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5. Okay. Class 1 pap smear is normal. Class 2, with inflammation or infection. Pag class 3, this is already dysplasia and abnormal cellular changes. At tinitreat na natin yan. Class 4 is probably malignant and class 5 is malignant. Okay? So this is your cervical cancer pap smear. By the way, ang mga pap smear, meron tayong criteria para magpa-pap smear. Dapat walang menstruation, walang infection, walang discharge, and at least 3 days na walang sexual intercourse. Okay? So ito yung, Wednesday 312. Lalagay ko lang Wednesday 312. 312. Ayan. Isi-send ko ito mamaya sa inyo. Okay. So ito yung mga most common na screening tests. Diagnostic tests. So these are the diagnosis for cancer. Tumor markers, the proteins released by the cancer cells. We have prostate-specific antigen for prostate cancer. S100 for melanoma. Melanoma is a skin cancer. Thyroglobulin for thyroid cancer. CA15-3, CA27-29 for breast cancer. Carcinoembryonic antigen or CA19-9 for colorectal cancer. CA125 for ovarian cancer. HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Di ba yan yung nagiging positive sa buntis and that is being produced by the placenta? Dyan galing ang mga germ cell tumor. Yung choriocarcinoma, yung teratoma. So kapag ka nagkaroon ng tumor coming from that, yung HCG mo mataas. I'm sure everybody remembers H-mol, hydatidiform mol. That is an abnormal pregnancy. Kapag ang patient nagkaroon ng H-mol tapos in-evacuate na, patient should not get pregnant for a year. Bakit? Because there is a higher chance of developing choriocarcinoma. Okay? And one characteristic of that is an elevated HCG. Kaya dapat di siya nabubuntis para bababa yung HCG level niya for a year. Okay? The AFP is the alpha-fetoprotein. This is a protein released by the liver cancer. The beta-2 macroglobulin, multiple myeloma, lymphocytic leukemia, and chromogranin A, neuroendocrine tumor, most sensitive for carcinoid tumors. Diagnostic imaging, X-ray, mammography, CT scan, ultrasound, nuclear medicine, PET, lymphocytography, MRI, these are all imaging diagnostic tests. Pero tatandaan mo, the most definitive diagnostic test, ito yung pinaka-the best test. Nagiging very definitive ang test kung nakita mo mismo ang cancer cells. Nakita mo ang cancer cells. So what is the most definitive diagnostic test? Yung nakita mo ang cancer cells. Ano yun? Any biopsy, the most definitive diagnostic test for cancer, nakita mo. Okay? You do histopathology for cancer. Okay. So how do we get cells for biopsy? So one important way to do this is by endoscopy. For example, may gastric cancer or colon cancer. You do colonoscopy, you get samples of the tumor that you see through the colonoscope. Tapos ibabiopsy mo yon. Ganon din sa lungs, bronchoscopy. Ganon din sa stomach, gastroscopy. Okay? Yan. Diagnostic test for GI, for bronchial cancer. Okay? Okay, now let's go to the staging of cancer. The staging of cancer is the extent or the spread of the disease. The process of describing the extent or the spread of the disease. Okay. Pasa na napunta yung cancer? Yun yung staging. So we have surgical staging, we have clinical staging, then we have pathologic staging. Isa-isahin ko ha. Dumating yung pasyente sa akin, sabi niya meron siyang nakakapangbukol sa breast. So kinapa ko, tinignan ko, in-approximate ko, sabi ko, ay, mukhang stage 1. Maliit lang yung nakapa ko, wala akong nakapang lymph nodes, mukhang bago pa lang, mukhang stage 1 yan. That's clinical staging based on professional judgment. Okay, so anong ginawa? Pinatanggal natin. Nung tinanggal, siyempre nakita ng surgeon. Nakita niya, ay hindi pala maliit, malaki pala, naka-extend dun sa back. Tapos, nakapa niya na mukhang meron din sa lymph node. So yung surgical staging, sabi ng doktor, stage 2. Okay. Tapos yung pathologic staging now is done by the pathologist. So, lahat ng lymph nodes i-check, yung buong tumor i-check under the microscope. You don't see only the extent, you also see the aggressiveness of the tumor. Ang tawag doon, pathologic staging. Okay, so iba-iba pala yon. iba-iba. So yung staging talaga ng cancer, hindi talaga natin ma-identify unless we have all this na open na surgery na pathology na nakita na. So pag nakita na, even the aggressiveness of the cancer cells, doon na magdetermine how we treat the patient. Hanggang ilang stage ang cancer? Sagot. Mag-type. Hanggang ilang stage ang cancer? Okay, hanggang stage 4 lang. And stage 4 cancer is already assigned, there is already a sign of metastasis. So, pag stage 4 na, may metastasis na. That's late. I remember this one patient, she was a celebrity and I was listening to her. Siyempre, hindi naman nila alam, di ba? So when the doctor Dow told her that she already has stage 3 cancer, she just asked the doctor, so when am I going to be at stage 10? Kasi akala nila hanggang ang bilangan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When it comes to cancer, it's only up to 4. So stage 3 is already late. Diba? That is already late. So yung stage ng cancer, magde-determine ng prognosis ng management. Prognosis and management. So good ba ang prognosis? Bad ba ang prognosis? And how are we going to manage the patient? Okay. Staging according to the American Cancer Society can follow the T&M staging. T for tumor size. We have T0, confined, localized, not beyond the basement membrane, or in situ where it develops. T1 to T4 depending on the size. Tapos yung T1, T2, T3 category will also depend on where is the tumor. Kasi yung nasa breast, less than 2 cm, T1 lang yun. Pero yung sa kidney malaki, hanggang 6 cm, T1 lang yun. So depende kung saan. Pag N, that's nodal involvement. O pag NO, no nodal involvement. Pag N1, with nodal involvement. Pag NX, nodal involvement cannot be assessed. Pag M, metastasis. Pag MO, no metastasis. Pag M1, with metastasis. Pag MX, metastasis cannot be assessed. So if the classification is T1, a small tumor, no nodal involvement, no metastasis, that's an early stage. Pag T4, a large tumor with nodal involvement with metastasis, that is late stage already. Okay. The staging of cancer is, di ba, hanggang stage 4 lang yan. Tapos iba-iba yan sa iba't ibang type ng cancer na makikita natin. Meron pang iba type 2A, stage 2A, stage 2B, stage 3A. Pero itong staging na sasabihin ko, this is general. General. And you have to understand this, ha, and remember kasi ito yung general. Okay, so pag sinabi natin stage 0, the cancer is where it started, it has not spread, or tumor inside situ. Pag stage 1, confined to the tissue and small, it has not spread. Pag stage 2, with increased growth of cancer, has not spread, okay, or it may have local node involvement. Pag stage 3, larger and has spread to surrounding tissues and regional node. Pag stage 4, with distant metastasis already. So stage 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan ang general. Kasi pag inaral natin tong cancer na to, iba-iba pa yun. Pero ito na yung general. Okay na tayo dito. Last curriculum, ang oncology, isang SEM pinag-aaralan. Imagine mo, isang SEM na puro cancer lang pag-usapan nyo. Kaya yung iba na praning na yung ibang estudyante, nakaramdam lang ng sakit ng ulo, Dok, baka may brain cancer na ako. Lumalaki lang yung puso sa Dok, baka may ovarian cancer na ako. Lo, sumakit ang tiyan, Dok, baka may gastric cancer na ako. Napraning na, kakaaral ng cancer. So, huwag tayo mapapraning, aralin lang. Okay. Now, the staging tells us the prognosis. Merong nagtanong sa akin, Dok, bakit yung kapitbahay namin, pareho naman silang stage 2. Pareho silang stage 2. Okay? Pero bakit yung isa may chemotherapy pa, may radiation therapy pa? Okay, bakit yung iba after surgery wala na? Bakit yung iba meron? Okay? You may have the same stage of cancer, pero magkaiba sila ng grade. Pag sabi natin grading, this is the differentiation of the cancer cells. Excuse me. So bakit pareho naman silang stage 2? Bakit yung isa after surgery wala na? Yung isa after surgery na chemotherapy pa, nag radiation therapy pa, ang dami pang therapy, samantalang yung isa wala na agad. Because that will depend on their grade, how differentiated the cells are. Di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina, if the cancer cells can very well differentiated from its cells of origin, grade 1 yun. Pag moderately to poorly differentiated, grade 2. Pag poorly differentiated to undifferentiated, grade 3. The more undifferentiated the cells, the more aggressive. Pero ngayon, most of the time, di na nila nilalagay yung 1, 2, 3. Ang nilalagay na lang nila, low grade tsaka high grade. So pag low grade, they are less aggressive. Kapag high grade, they're very aggressive. Pag very aggressive, mabilis kumalat, mabilis dumami, mas nakakamatay, mas deadly. Pag low grade, matagal. Kaya alam nyo, there are patients with cancer who can last more than 10 years. Low grade lang kasi. Kaya yung iba, hindi naman ako nagpapacheck up, parang wala namang nangyari sa akin. Oo, after 10 years, baka sakali, may mangyayari ng sigurado. Kaya lagi niyong tatandaan, if the cancer is low grade, you have to explain to your patient very well. Magpagamot tayo. Kasi yung iba, hindi nagpapagamot kasi wala silang nararamdaman. Pain is already coming out as a late manifestation of the disease. Sayang, meron akong kilala more than 10 years siyang merong bladder cancer na low grade, hindi siya nagpa-check up. So after 10 years, she started to have the signs and symptoms. Ayun na, gusto na niyang magpa-treat, wala na, late na, hindi na pwede. So it is important that we have a good uh, therapeutic communication with our patient. Kasi sayang, kung low grade lang yan, tapos hindi mo pina-check up, naku, darating ang panahon na deadly yan. Pero kung pina-check up mo yan, baka abutin ka pa ng 20, 30 years. Okay, so it will all depend also on the grading, not only on the staging of cancer. Do we understand? Clear po? Diba? Yes? Nakikinig pa ba tayo? Yes? Yes, ayan, nakikinig pa sila. Very good. Okay. So, now let's do the modalities of treatment. Okay, so the modalities of treatment, we have surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, biotherapy, and stem cell therapy. Okay. Pag-uusapan natin dito ay surgery muna. And the most important thing that we need to know in surgery or in the surgical treatment of the most common types of cancer. Pero siyempre, ang discussion muna natin ay yung pang-overall. Okay, pang-overview. Okay? Sa chemotherapy, sa radiation therapy, sa biotherapy, sa stem cell therapy, I will not be very particular with the specific names of the chemotherapeutic drugs or the stem cell or the biotherapy. Pero ang pinaka-importante yung principles on why and how do we do that and the nursing intervention. Yun ang pinaka-importante. Okay? Okay, are we learning here? Natututo ba tayo? Okay, thank you, Michelle. Ayan, at marami na silang nagre-react. So it's almost 3. Can we have a short break first? Okay lang ba? Break time. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes, then we will come back for surgery. Surgery na lang muna yung i-discuss natin. I would like to meet you on Wednesday next week for the group. We will be meeting from 7 to 3 doon sa isang group. Yung isang group, they'll be leaving at 11. Okay lang yon. Pero i-discuss ko yung mas maraming discussion on Wednesday. Then we will still have another Wednesday before the exam, di ba? Okay, so we will be discussing the most common types of cancer. So now, let's take a short break. Mga 15 to 20 minutes, okay? All right, I'll see you later.